Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be, when is it ever enough for the narcissist? Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So when is it ever enough for the narcissist? Are they ever gonna get satiated? Is their cup ever gonna get full? Will they ever have what they're actually looking for? I will explain the answer to these questions and more. Jumping right in, here we go. First of all, what is enough? Enough is your resources, which include, is it ever enough love? Is there ever enough time? Is there ever enough energy? Is there ever enough health? Is there ever enough money? Are there ever enough relationships? Is there ever enough manipulation? Is there ever enough destruction and deceit, lies, and just flat out nastiness? All of these answers are no. There will never be enough, because the narcissist is destined and doomed, if you will, to repeat the behaviors in things called cycles throughout the body of their life. That is exactly why the narcissistic abusive cycle, it goes around and around. And if you've identified that you are and or were in a narcissistic relationship, you need to run for the hills and you need to remove yourself from the cycle, because it will never be enough for the narcissist. Let's take money as an example. Let's say the narcissist that you're thinking about is a brother or spouse, or not spouse, brother or a mom or dad or somebody, or friend, and they ask you to borrow money from them. Now, what have you done? Many times you've loaned them money. Have they repaid you back? Probably not, maybe. But was the money ever repaid in a timely fashion? I doubt it. It was probably, if it was repaid, it was slowly paid. And then what would happen? Then again, time would go by and they would say to themselves, well, I think there's more and more resources I can get from this person, which in this case is money. So they disappeared for a little while. Then they popped back up on your radar. They befriended you again, and then they asked you to borrow more money. This is a cycle. It's a pattern. It's the same thing. Let's say that you're a mom or a dad and your child, an adult child, is the narcissist. If they want to borrow money from you, you probably had to tell them no numerous times. But then what did you do? You broke down and you still loaned them money or paid for their bills or did whatever you did, and your accounts were being depleted. And what was the narcissist doing, who unfortunately is your adult child? Probably eating Cheerios downstairs on the couch in the basement somewhere, not even doing anything, trying to build their life up. They're probably doing zero. Now, I'm not being comical or funny here. I'm just saying that this is an individual who believes that you will always be there to support them, to always be there to bail them out. And one of two things will happen. You will either end up depleted from your resources, in this case your finances, or two, it's gonna tear you down and you're gonna have to say no and put up a boundary. One of those two things will happen. Another example of, will it ever be enough for the narcissist? Let's say love. Think about how many times the narcissist has been in a romantic relationship, or maybe even married, who knows? Probably numerous times. And think about the times that you know of X, Y, and Z, but behind those scenes, for each one of those individuals you're thinking about, there are multiple people behind that you never even knew about. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the narcissist is never satiated with one romantic interest. Whether you got married or not, that does not matter one bit. What matters is that who you married or what you married. You married a person who did not respect the vows that you took. As a matter of fact, the vows you took were probably from the religion or the organization, however you wanted to take your vows, because you believed in them. The narcissist didn't do that. They just wanted to get that wedding ring on their finger as fast as possible, because their idea of a wedding or a marriage is to abuse you, to have a license to abuse you behind closed doors. And you would never be enough, because that marriage that you were a part of, it was destined to fail. Because why? I'll tell you why. Because you were focusing on moving in one direction, moving forward, and the narcissist was trying to tear you down. This is exactly how it works. And the narcissist got very jaded and bored with you and with that relationship over a period of time, because you weren't good enough. That's how they saw you. And remember, think about all the barbecues you would go to, or all the holidays or the events you would attend with the narcissist. Were they ever present with you? No, they weren't. Many times they would go to these events on their own. Think about what I'm sharing with you, and they would say to you, I'll just meet you there, no big thing. And you're like, but wait, what are you talking about? We're married and we have kids. Like, what do you, but you would get used to it. Why? Because the narcissist wants to appear single. That is why. And if you were married for 1 year, 6 years, or 60 years, you know what I'm talking about. They will walk 10 feet in front of you throughout the whole relationship. They will not call you by your name. They will use a pet name that they could use for any other romantic interest. They will bat their eyelashes at complete strangers and ignore you. They will be at a dinner with you, exclusively, the two of you, trying to have a romantic dinner, and they will be flirting with the waitstaff, ignoring you, or on one of their 3 smartphones, ignoring you, or complaining that the food or the restaurant location isn't good enough. Why? I'll tell you why, because you picked it out. And you put up a boundary once and said, yeah, I want to go have this kind of food. They went reluctantly because they're a spoiled child, if you will, and they ruined the evening. And next thing you know, a week later, you're going to go out to dinner and you decide, I'll just let them pick the restaurant. It's probably easier that way. This is what the narcissist does. Once they have you where they want you, they pin you down and they slowly bleed you dry of all of your resources, everything. And believe me when I tell you, over a period of time, this takes a toll on your health, which is another thing. Let's say you were in the narcissistic relationship and your health did take a hit. Well, drop comments below, first of all. Second of all, my heart goes out to you. But third of all, do you think that's a coincidence that your health took a hit when you entered this relationship with this individual? It's not. It's because that relationship was so cumbersome, so heavy, so draining, so trying, so taxing, so challenging. You didn't know if you were coming or going. You were being gaslit left, right, and center. You endured the smear campaign. You were being triangulated when you didn't even know what any of those words were. Now you're getting the definitions, the glossary, the terms on the narcissistic abusive cycle, and you're understanding that, yes, in fact, Andrew is correct. It would never be enough. So here's another one. The relationship is over, and let's say it ended recently, and you're putting yourself back together. Many times you will say to yourself, did I do enough? Could I have done something different? Should I have done A, B, and C? Why did I do X, Y, and Z? Was it my fault? All of these questions, the answer I will tell you very simply, and please, I hope you're sitting down for this. The truth of the matter there is, it did not matter what you did in that relationship. You were giving to a fault. Your resources became depleted. They found a new supply, most likely, or other sources of supply, and they got very tired of being with you. Now, please understand, I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you. The narcissist, the luster of the new supply, which at one point was me and certainly was you, the luster wears off the new supply rather quickly. Many times after a couple months, maybe a year, who knows. But the point is, every time the narcissist enters a relationship, let's say romantic relationship or friendship, these all have expiration dates, each and every one of them do. Some last longer than others, some are short-lived, the people are together for decades. Why? I'll tell you why, because the one person is the narcissist, perhaps the other person is also, or the other person is so beaten down and they're trapped in the narcissistic fog, they don't know what's going on, and they don't believe there's something better outside of that relationship with the individual who turned out to be the narcissist. These are examples I'm sharing with you. I hope you understand what I'm telling you. There's not one thing you could have done different in the romantic relationship with the narcissist, or in any relationship. Maybe it's a sibling, a mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, neighbor, coworker. That would never be good enough, because the narcissist knows one speed, and that is full speed ahead. They don't know how to lay off the gas. And what they want to do is they want to implode every relationship they become a part of, which includes businesses, friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships, community relationships, hobbies, organizations, groups, neighborhoods, whatever it's going to be. The narcissist needs drama. And on top of drama, they need manipulation. That is why so frequently post-narcissistic relationship, when you are putting yourself back together, every once in a while someone will tell you something about the narcissist and you're like, well, I didn't know that. What's going on? Why don't you tell me? And these people, at times, this doesn't happen that frequently, but it does happen, they will say, you wouldn't have listened to me even if I told you. Now think about what I shared with you. What that means is you had a family member or a friend who was watching your relationship from afar, and they knew that you had changed when you were in the relationship and you were not yourself. You were accommodating the narcissist. You were becoming someone that you weren't. You were becoming an extension of the narcissist. And this individual who I'm talking about, after the relationship ended, they would say to you, and this happens not that often, but it does happen. They'll say, yeah, I was watching you from afar and you were really changing. You were really different. You weren't yourself. You weren't smiling. Your face looked jaunt. You were getting black circles around your eyes, or you didn't have the step in your, the flare in your step any longer. You weren't smiling or laughing. And why that is? Because you were trapped in the narcissistic fog with the narcissist where they placed you. And this other individual knew that something was wrong, but they couldn't put their finger on it. And they didn't want to interfere with your relationship. But now that the dust is cleared and the smoke is settled, they can say something like that to you because you're not with the narcissist. And what happens there is now you get more and more light bulb moments and you understand, wow, you know what? You're right. I was in it so deep. I would not have believed anything if you had told me that at all. And that is where these relationships become so challenging, so trying. Because if you're in something so deep that you don't even A, know where you are, or B, know how to get out of it, or C, want to believe, in fact, that the person that you love doesn't love you, they don't care about you, they're trying to crush you. That is a very, very difficult place to be, but it's the truth. Once you exit these relationships, no matter how you do, if you're discarded or if you end it yourself, what happens there is you get clarity, you get clear, the fog lifts. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen in a few days. It happens over time. After you heal childhood wounds, you process things, you meditate, you journal, perhaps you see a therapist, but you slow your life down and you really wrap your head around that relationship and how it almost took you down for the count, but it didn't. But when you do that, that's when you get all these light bulb moments. That's when you start to put yourself back together. That's when you say, holy cow, that's what that was. That's who that strange person was in my house. That's why this person, the narcissist, was up texting till 3 o'clock in the morning. That's why they were giggling every time I said something like, who is that on the phone? That's why they were batting their eyelashes at complete strangers on the airplanes and at dinners and things. That's why they showed up late all the time. That's why they made me wait for them all the time. That's why they didn't answer my texts. That's why they went away on weekends claiming they were going to seminars and things. That's why they didn't want to raise the kids. That's why they claimed like they didn't have money. That's why all their friendships blew up. That's why I never saw that person again. That's why their mom told me all these things that I didn't want to believe. This list goes on and on and on, and you get so many light bulb moments. Believe me when I tell you, you do. Drop comments below. What I'm sharing with you, though, is will it ever be enough for the narcissist? No, it won't be. They can never get their cup full because their cup has so many holes of depleted relationships in the past in it that they need to put another person's relationship in that cup, hoping that that person will fill all the holes in the cup. But what happens with that new relationship, let's say the new supply, again, the weight of that relationship gets so heavy, that relationship develops another hole in the cup, and boom, that person gets discarded or goes away if they ended it themselves. But that's why the narcissist cup can never be full, because there's so many holes in it from all the previous relationships, from all the skeletons in the closet, from all the destruction and the chaos and the manipulation that they've allowed to have happen and absolutely administered, I should say. This is why these relationships are one-way relationships to Destructionsville. That's why the narcissist can't introspect. That's why they can't love. That's why they have no empathy. That's why they can't and won't change, because they don't care. I'm going to share this before I close the video. Remember, you were in a toxic narcissistic relationship. You're getting the wisdom on my channel now. That's a good thing. Many people don't find my channel. Many people don't find the needle in a haystack. Many people are trapped in the narcissistic fog where you once were. I certainly was too. That's not a good place to be. It is one of the most challenging, trying places to escape from. You're trying to escape from a place that didn't even know that existed. Having said all these things, you're now on the healing path, or you have healed. You're reaching that pinnacle of indifference, that mountaintop of indifference. If you have healed, please pay it forward. Please share the video with someone who can use it. Please help those loved and trusted ones around you. Do the best you can to insulate and protect yourself and those trusted ones and loved ones around you. If not now, when? Get the message, guys. So before I close the video, will it ever be enough for the narcissist? No, it won't be. And whoever the new supply is right now, believe me, that person is failing in the eyes of the narcissist, just like you did, just like the previous relationship before you were with the narcissist did too. Just like the narcissist blows up every relationship, no matter who it is around them, that's what's happening with the new supply. You just may not see it yet, but then again, you shouldn't be looking, because my hope is you've gone no contact, blocked them, deleted them, removed all flying monkeys and people associated with them, and you've begun living your best life. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you. I love you. And I have to go because I have a session. God bless you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.